Right, well, I guess I could start us off. I have a question. So, look, I went back and watched Child's Play 2, and Christine, your character Kyle, that was your first appearance. And Chucky's been such a, it really benefits from practical effects, and it's been what 33 years. When you guys got back on set, what were some of the differences and similarities with both versions of the Chucky doll and doing things practically?
What, me? Okay. It's pretty much the same. The doll is a little bit more fluid, I think, but it is practical, and it still takes like half a dozen or more puppeteers, and so I didn't experience. The only real difference is the puppeteers can be in frame with you now. They dress them like ninjas and ninja outfits, and they can like later on paint them out, so they can be right in the frame with you, moving him, which didn't used to be the case. Alex.
Yeah, that's the most notable thing is that they can be right there with you, and they can have like poles coming out from behind him that they can use, that they can erase later. And yeah, I think there's a couple less people working on him. I think there were maybe 7 or 9 at a time, with all kind of broken down thing. And another major difference that I realized is that the dialogue for Chucky is pre-programmed now.
Oh wow!
So they can play something and it mouths out what he's supposed to say. Whereas in the first 2 films, Brock, who was the puppeteer, wore like a chin strap, and when he moved his mouth, maybe you've seen the footage from behind the scenes. And now that's all pre-programmed, so that it plays out the way it's supposed to, which is pretty cool.
It's incredible. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
For both of you, what continues to draw you back to this particular series?
Well, for me, all of my earliest memories are of this doll and of these people. Don and Christine are great dear friends to me. And, Don has been incredibly loyal to us as actors and friends, and that loyalty is happily returned to him and also we've been meeting Chucky fans for our entire lives. So we have a level of loyalty and respect for the fan base that makes it exciting for us to return to these characters that they love so much.
Yeah, I mean, it's a super unique thing. I don't know how many actors in history have been able to play the same character at 6 years old and at 40 years old. And for me, at 17 and whatever that age, that makes me 26, I think, if you do the math. So that's a really rare opportunity to explore a character for that much time. And Dawn, like, it's family for us. So why not? It's fun.
I wanted to ask, how does it feel to tackle Chucky as an adult since you both first met Chucky as children?
Oh, it's just as much fun to hurt the doll now as it was when I was 6. But yeah, like I've said many times, he told us we'd be friends to the end 34 years ago, and he wasn't kidding. So it really, for me especially, it doesn't really feel like I've left him that much. I talk about him all the time. I mean, there were times in my life, like in high school, where I didn't want to talk about him as much as I did have to. So he's kind of been there all along. Although it's a return to the screen, it's to our relationship.
Yeah, and for me, I mean, I was playing 17, but I was 24, so I was an adult.
Oh, okay.
That first time around too. It's funny that I was 24 then, and I'm only 26 now. So, but yeah, it's not much different for me.
Yeah, time's moved way slower for you.
Exactly.
Don Mancini's really done a great job of evolving the franchise. Can you talk about working with Don as a collaborator? And did your vision for where you thought the characters would be align with Don's?
Ooh, this is a great question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just can you say the first part of it again? I heard that.
Sure. Don Mancini, he's been doing a really good job of evolving the franchise throughout time. Can you talk to me about working with Don as a collaborator? And did your vision for where you thought your characters would be aligned with Don's vision?
For me, for Andy, yeah, absolutely. I mean, Don is, it's advantageous for us to have a real friend, like family member, mentor kind of person that's been impactful to our lives since we were much younger. It's an advantage to have that connection with him because we get to voice our thoughts about the characters and what Don notices that I often do my best to kind of rewrite some of his dialogue for me. And luckily thus far, I've only had mostly good suggestions, but it's very much a collaboration for these characters. And as far as where Andy is now, having spent several years with the opportunity to torture Chucky and really enact some revenge and have some fun with him, that's exactly what I wanted for Andy to be after the gap between Curse of Chucky and Cult of Chucky. And I said that to him around Curse of Chucky. And I don't know if he remembers, but maybe it's subconsciously, maybe it was just the best way forward for the character. But it feels very much like a collaboration. He doesn't seem to make me want to do anything or make me do anything that I don't want to do as the character. So it works great for us.
Yeah, I agree. Dawn is a long sort of process of mulling things over and throwing things out there and seeing what sticks and getting feedback. And a couple of the ideas he had for Kyle, I was afraid of and didn't want to have happen. And ultimately they didn't. So I don't know if he just I don't know if anything I said impacted his decision or he just found his way there on his own, but I haven't had to do anything that I felt has been squirrely or not true to what I wanted to be at all.
Absolutely. Thank you.
This is such a beloved franchise, and you both are a part of social media. What kind of fan feedback have you been receiving to this version of Chucky, the TV version?
Well, I got to tell you, I mean, I don't think people agree as much that pizza is good food as they seem to agree that this is a good show. I've never seen basically any fan base unite as much as they have for this reincarnation of the show and continuation. So it's incredibly rewarding and validating and comforting to know that, this vision of Don's being carried out the way it is, where we are now, and the direction that it went is so fully embraced by the fan base. And I mean, the show kind of speaks for itself in that way too, because just watching it, I'm a tremendous fan of how this show has been going. It's phenomenal. So that's a joy for us to watch as people that it's been in our lives most of our lives. But to see the reaction from fans be so united, especially in a time and place when division is much more common than anyone uniting over anything, it feels great.
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, even the 7 films of the franchise are divisive. People have different favorites and different ones they think that are weak and different versions of the doll that they like or that they hate. And the internet is definitely a bastion of people that just want to be negative for the most part. People who are feeling negative thoughts are much more motivated to speak them than people who feel positive thoughts or feelings. So there has been no debate about how the doll looks or meeting new characters or anything. I have never, like Alex said, I've never seen such a unity of fans as this show. No one film in the whole franchise has such unanimous positive review as the show does so far.
Well, thank you all so much for your time.